All right, what's up, everybody? Let this build up for a second before I get started. So, my name's Aaron Spalding. For y'all that don't know me, I am a person in long-term recovery. Everybody comment where you're from and that you are a survivor, because that's what we are. We are all survivors. I'm gonna share this real quick onto my page, and then we'll get started here in just a second. All right, yeah, if you could, everybody share this, put it out there. Um, Grateful and honored to be asked to do this. You know, my man Robin Higgy asked if I want to be part of this today, and I don't like to say no to anything. And definitely, one of my guys. Always like to carry the message anywhere I can, and try not to turn it down. All right, so like I said, my name's Aaron Spalding, person in long-term recovery. I haven't touched a mood or mind-altering substance since November 29th, 2015. What that means to me is today I am no longer part of the problem. Today I am part of the solution. We are part of the solution because we are survivors. We have been through this, and we persevered. And really, honestly, everybody's a survivor. If you have walked through active addiction and you have been through the chaos, the unmanageability, the turmoil, all the things that brings, and you found your way out, you're a survivor. If you're still stuck in active addiction and you're living today, you are a survivor. There's a survivor in each and every one of us. If you got a loved one, if you're a loved one or a family member of someone in active addiction, you are a survivor. Because as we was in the trenches fighting that battle of addiction, you was too. You was right there, because I know me, I take hostages. That's what I done. What I went through, you went through, plus more. Because my mind wasn't right. I wasn't thinking right, and I didn't care what anybody else was thinking. We hurt people. That's what addiction does. And it's not us. It is us. But, as our addict mind goes, we start to drop them morals and values and the things that we hold dear, When we first start off using, I did because I thought I was doing something normal. And over time, everything normal was taken away from me. Every single thing. Everything I held dear. Every value. Every belief. It was all gone. And through that, people got hurt. So like I said, if you are a loved one or support a loved one in active addiction, you are a survivor. And it's not just people in addiction. People that's went through addiction. The first responders, the police, the paramedics, counselors, probation, treatment workers. You guys are survivors. You've dealt with this firsthand. You've walked in and administered Narcan to people that was on their way out. You saved lives. You're a survivor. That stuff numbs people to go through that day in and day out, and you still do it. You're a survivor. Like I said, there's a survivor in every one of us. No matter where you've come from, no matter what you are, where you're at, if you was from a privileged life, if you was from poverty, you felt adversity in some way, sometime, and you got through it, you're a survivor. And there's one in every one of us. I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and why I'm a survivor, what I've been through, my experience, my strength, and my hope, and where I am today. But if anybody told you they love you today, I love you, we love you, and that's what it is. This is a we thing. And when I started off in my life, it wasn't a we thing. It was an I thing. I made a choice. And through that choice, I went places I never thought I'd go. But I didn't get out of it until I realized it was we. The power of peer support and the strength of others is what got me out of that muck, that got me out of that chaos, that got me out of that unmanageability. So my story starts off, I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, 1982, grew up, good family, brother, sister, and before I even get into it, everything I've done, it ain't my family's fault. There's people that was put in positions through their life where they had tragedy, where they had things that, trauma, things that may have led them to their addiction, things that they were covering. I can't blame none of that on none of my family. the choices I made was my choices, and I take accountability for that because I did them. My parents were great. We didn't have everything by far, by any means, but I had enough, and I got by, and they took care of me. And my brothers and sisters, even when they got divorced. My mom did everything it could to take care of me. And that's kind of where my addiction went off. It's not because that I'm going to blame it on divorce or anything like that. It's because my mom couldn't watch what I was doing. Working 2 jobs, everything she could do to provide for us. My brother, my sister, I'm like 15 years old, and I just got a little bit more freedom, and I got a little farther out there where I wasn't being watched all the time. I was in high school, and I always played sports. I always got good grades. And everything I did, I had to be the best. Everything. That was filling something inside me, a void, something that I've searched my whole life to fill. And I see these kids and everybody, the normal thing, getting drunk on the weekends, getting high, doing this and that, and that's what I thought was me. I wanted that. I wanted to be normal. I wanted to fill that void, and I wanted to fit in. So like I said, long story short, everything I did after that, the normal started to slip away from my life. I'm not going to go into all the gory details and everything that I've done. I'm not going to glorify my use and my active addiction, because I like to focus more on the solution, more on today, and more on what we're doing. But I've been through a lot. Like I said today, I can say I'm a survivor. Through my addiction, I lost everything over and over. I hurt everybody over and over. And I always say that if it was right, I ran from it. If it was wrong, I welcomed it. And if you loved me, I destroyed you. And that's what my active addiction was. It was all about me. Like I said before, me. And I never got out of it till I understand the true meaning and concept of we. The true meaning and concept of others, of something greater than me. Because before, I was the greatest thing in my eyes, and I didn't have a problem. Y'all did. Y'all couldn't handle your stuff. Y'all couldn't do this. Y'all couldn't do that. I was doing nothing wrong. And that's what my eyes told me. And that's not what my eyes told me. That's what my disease told me, because that's what it wanted me to know. It did not want me to get better. It did not want me to be here today telling you why I'm a survivor. That's what it didn't want. But it didn't get that. Through a life of chaos and turmoil and everything I've been through, progressively progressed worse and worse and worse. My disease was over there shaking its hands, feeding off of it, loving it, because it seen me getting lower and lower. It knew I was almost to that broken state where it could fully take me, because that's what it wants to do. It wants me dead. It wants you dead. It wants us all dead. That's all it wants. It wants all we got. It feeds off us. Not just off the venom off our blood, but of everything we got, our morals, our beliefs, everything good within us is what that disease wants to take from us, and it does. The situations that my disease has put me in, that active addiction, whatever you want to call it, wherever it put me, I was a victim of a home invasion. Woke up on my house with a gun to my head over this disease, And then my self-esteem was what happened to me, but not thinking what could happen to anybody else. My mom come home and see the aftermath of what could have happened, or walked into it, why it was going on. And that's again why this is a family disease, because our actions affect everybody. But at the time, it was poor old me. What happened to me? So, a victim of a home invasion. I had a beautiful daughter. I'm gonna do this right. That's where I'm gonna go with it. I need to chill out, settle down. Disease won't let me. First hardship, a couple months in, I was right back at it. Thank God her mom was a good woman and seen that they was better off without me. They knew that that situation with her was not going to be good. The first experience that my family had coming home from the hospital, the first thing that my newborn daughter witnessed, well, she didn't really witness it because she was like days old, but a dope man banging on my door because I owed him money. 5 days old, straight from the hospital. That is the first experience in my house as a family. That's this disease. That's what it does. So she moves on, through life, worse and worse. Insanity, spiraling, circling, keeps getting bad. Another daughter, gonna do it right? No, didn't do it right. But thank God what I couldn't do was done for me. because on October 10th, 2008, I was set up, or 2006, I was set up for a controlled buy. You know, again, I wouldn't, you know, I was never going to make this change, but the change was made for me. The break to this cycle was made, and I got pulled out of that insanity and placed into the Indiana State penal system. That was 2006, you know, and I didn't even go in there even thinking clearly, not even with the right mind, not with the right intentions. You know, I didn't go in there, how can I get out of here? What can I do? Because my disease didn't want that, you know. I went in there seeing how I could get by on others, how I could feed my addiction, because I did. The height of my heroin addiction took off while I was in the prison system, you know. I know that if that would have happened, if I wouldn't have went to prison, I would have been dead. You know, if that man, my friend, somebody I held resentments for years, wouldn't wore that wire on me, I would be dead today. I know that, because I hadn't really fully went into full-fledged addiction of heroin. You know, I missed that era around here. You know, it wasn't bad like it is now, and people wasn't dropping around here in the suburbs. And if I wouldn't have went off, I would have been one. I know that. I know I would not be here today telling my story, sharing my experience, and doing all I can to help others. So I make it in there, like I said, my addiction takes off, you know, and the way that disease thinks it wants to isolate us. And I kept losing time. I kept doing wrong things, you know. Like I said, I wasn't in there trying to get time cuts. My out date was going back and back and back. You know, at one point, my out date went from 2012 to 2024 over some drugs, you know. And over drugs in there, you know, I didn't learn. I wasn't thinking clearly. I was getting worse and still getting worse. It came to the point where I accepted, you know, where the first time I ever accepted anything really was that I'm not leaving this place. And I was cool with it. You know, how horrible is that? And, you know, I was cool with that because that's what the disease wanted. It had broke me and put me to such a state where I didn't care if I left them walls. I was living a life of violence and chaos and drugs swirling around inside them walls. And I had no worries. And my mind, I was cool with that. And I kept getting worse and worse and worse. And once again, I'm going to use a cliche, I know, God doing for me what I wouldn't do for myself. You know, December 10th, 2010, I woke up to a lockdown, facility-wide lockdown. Didn't know what was going on. The guy right beside me overdosed. The cell right beside me. It was my guy. You know, well, my guy. We used together. We dealt together. You know, y'all know it is an active addiction. We don't have no guys. We don't have no friends. It's what we can get, what we can gain, and that's it. But he overdosed and died. This is like 2 weeks before Christmas. And the first thought in my head was no remorse for this man's family. It wasn't, oh my God, this is horrible. It was, I gotta go get that dope. I know that's good. I gotta have that. That's what my disease led me to think. That's horrible. You know, and that's what I did. I went out and got that. I chased that for a day, all day, y'all. As soon as we got on lockdown, all over the yard of the prisons, looking for that. Because I had to have it. You know, I needed that. My disease told me I wanted that and I had to have it. And it took me until later that night when I was sitting in that prison cell. Past out date, after out date, after out date. My kids are now in foster care because her mom is dealing with the same thing I deal with. You know, and she's outside doing it. Because when I went away, she was still stuck on that. You know, and eventually it caught up with her too. Kids get put in foster care. I'm in prison. Just thinking about how horrible this is. That, you know, this man died. And they could be making that call to my mom right now. They could be telling my kids that, you know, Dad ain't coming home neither no more. All because I want to go get that same stuff that killed that man. You know, and that's the sickness of this disease. That's where it took me. That's how far off it had me. That's where it had me in my life. Is that what I knew killed him, I wanted. And I got. You know, and that was the last day that I had ever done heroin. That was December 10th, 2010. While inside the Indiana State penal system. And after that, I started trying to get right, getting better. And eventually made it out the door. I got time back, you know. And that's how my recovery started off. But didn't start off with no open-mindedness, no willingness. My whole philosophy was just don't use. Don't be soft, don't use. That's all I got to do, and I'm good. I went to meetings because I had to when I got out. Get my papers signed, appeasement for my family, for my PO, not for me. Because again, y'all had that problem, I didn't. I ain't a pussy. I ain't soft. I'll be alright. I just got to not use. And that's what I did. First year or two of my recovery path, that's what it was. And it was good. I thought, until it wasn't good, and it became bad. The first hardships I had, I didn't develop no skills. I didn't have no peer support. I didn't have no system. Nothing, none of that. So what do? Dark times, negative days. My thinking gets messed up. I run to what I know best, my crutch. It's exactly what I did. The insanity of this disease, I knew where it was going to take me. It's been taking me there ever since I was 14 years old. 20 years of it. I should have known. I thought it'd be different this time, and that's the insanity of it. Same thing, different results. Yeah. But it wasn't going to be me. It was. My mind thought, I can just go back to the doctor. Justification game is on point. My mind would tell me I could go to the doctor, I'd get my pain meds back. I'd be good. I'll take them like I'm supposed to. It'll be different this time. Sanity says otherwise. Because, how it goes. It started off alright, and then it didn't get there. And it wasn't there no more. I went full, start to head, all the way back out there. Now I started losing things again, and this was years into recovery that I gained. And before I had the chance to lose it all, by the grace of God, by, again, something that I wouldn't do, I got hit on a random piss test. Felt dirty for pot, of all things, blessing in disguise. And as I lay back in that drum tank again, thinking that it's all over, I've lost everything I've gained, everything once again. 35 years old, you want to talk about rock bottom? This was it. Not the prison cell, not all the chaos and turmoil I've dealt with, pistols being pulled on me, guns to my head, beat within a half of my life, violence in prison. None of that was my rock bottom. But laying there in the cell knowing that the life I created for my family and everything was good was all about to be gone. My home about to be gone. My cars about to be gone. Everything, my kids, everything that they was going to have, because that was all out of good. That was not filled with the negative chaos ways that I had before. Everything that was going on then didn't matter. It was all around drugs, but having a couple years of sobriety, and then all of a sudden about to lose it all, that was my first real rock bottom. And I'm grateful for it because it put me where I need to be. That first time I laid in that cell, and I knew that it had to change. And I knew my way does not work because I am sick. And I will figure a way out of it. I will justify things. I will twist and mold. My whole form of sponsorship in the past was to get somebody that I could work over, manipulate, because that's how my mind worked. Because that's what I am. That's what I was. That's what I did. So this time it had to be open. It had to be one. I had to see what it was about. I went into a room and I actually listened for once. I didn't sit in there and cut jokes or look around and look at all the hot girls in the rooms. That's not what I did when I first came into the room again. I heard things. I listened. I got open with myself, and started looking at things. And the first thing that I ever heard in that room that stuck with me still to this day was nothing. No feeling is permanent, because emotions are what always got me. High, low, sad, mad, whatever excuse to use, a justification. That's what I did. There was no being level. There was no okay. There was no content being content. If I was sad, I got high. If I was mad, I got high. Whatever. And that's how it was. I heard that and I started thinking, and I'm like, man, these people know things I don't know. What's really going on? I thought I knew everything. I thought I was good. These people, know some things. And then I started. I always thought I had it worse than everybody, the things I've been through. You don't know where I'm at. You ain't spent 5 years behind the wall. You ain't been in the chaos. You ain't been locked down. You ain't been near death. We all have. You know, if we live through them horrors of active addiction, that's why I called the horrors of active addiction. Because we've all been there. You know, and I heard somebody else share a story, and I'm like, man, he's just like me. It's the same guy as me. You know, we're not so different after all. And I seen a glow in his eyes. I wanted it. You know, I've never felt that before unless I was high. It's the only glow that was ever in my eyes. As long as I can remember. You know, the last natural happiness I had, I was like 12, 13 years old. I'm 35 now. 34 at the time. I didn't know that, but I seen it and I wanted it. So, you know, we start talking. I know he'd been through things I've been through because I knew him from the past. And he starts talking about the things he's doing in the community. I could just see how happy it made him, you know. He's like, man, you ought to come check this out. We run cognitive behavior therapy meetings. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm going to stop right now. Check that out. CBT, saved my life. You know, I don't, any path, every path is different, whatever. But CBT is what saved my life. You know, that was the first thing that actually got me going. Okay, back into it again. And you know, he starts telling me what he's doing. He's like, yeah, I've started an organization, One Voice, which I am the vice president of, and I'm proud to be able to do that in the community now. He's like, we started One Voice, and, you know, you'd be a good fit in it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm hearing everything, but I got to worry about me. You know, I don't need to worry about everybody else because that doesn't affect me, you know, because that's still that selfish thinking. You know, when you're still new in recovery and you ain't worked on everything yet, you still got them defects and them flaws. And so, you know, I didn't jump into it. But I still wanted what he had, so I was open to hear. I started going to CBT meetings. I started being around great people. I started seeing all the amazing things that was being done. And another girl that I knew from the past, she kept saying, you know what, Aaron, you would be real great with One Voice. You would be real great being, you could do great things. I'm like, yeah, I ain't got time for that. And I got to worry about me. I got my family. You know, right now we're separated. I'm doing house arrest in another state. They're living in Ohio because I'm a screw up. I ain't got time for all that. I got to get right, get things together, and get back to my family. Well, you know, the story be told. I'm grateful that girl and I'm grateful that man pointed me in that path. Because all my life I was searching for something. You know, I was trying to fill a void through sports, through being the best, you know, through drugs. I searched for this same peace in pill bottles and prescription bottles and every dark and bad corner of this earth looking for it. And that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for that feeling in my heart that I've never felt. You know, and I get that through service work. For knowing today that I'm doing something that's right. You know, and by far means I'm not perfect. I got flaws like anybody else, and I screw up like anybody else. But I wake up with pureness in my heart. I wake up knowing the things I'm doing is for the right reasons and to help people. And I would never have got that opportunity if it wasn't for these great people that came before me to start this organization. I'm eternal grateful for them. So anyway, I get into that, get into One Voice, you know, and I start seeing the things that can be done. You know, we throw a big event, Rocking for Recovery, and I couldn't go. I was on house arrest. But, you know, I came up with the idea, and we got it spinning, and I seen the things that people in recovery could do. You know, addicts coming together when it's more about we and not I. You know, we were what stigma says we are. We can't do them things. They say we're worthless, junkies, dope fiends, all them horrible words. You know, we'll never accomplish anything. We accomplished something that day. We started a conversation. You know, and then we had a walk, our first walk in our community. You know, and it was bone chilling going down them streets in a community that for the longest time, you know, it was a quiet conversation. Not in our town. You know, these people weren't dying around here, you know, and they was. But nobody wanted to talk about it. It was that elephant in the corner of the room that nobody wanted to confront. You know, but we brought this conversation to the table, walking down Main Street in our town. Instead of running from the police, being escorted by the police. You know, it was a great feeling. Looking around, seeing what we'd accomplished, and it lit a fire in me. I knew from that day, you know, the power of one addict helping another is without parallel, and that we can do this, that we can make changes, and we're going to. And it just kept taking off from there, you know, and I kept, every time through all this, like I say it over and over, this is one of the most selfless, selfish things we do. And, somebody like, what the hell did you just say? You babbling? But it is, if you think about it. We do it for selfless reasons to help others. But it helps us in return as well. It gives me that sense of accomplishment, that peace in my heart, that feeling that I know that I'm doing something right. And we all grow from it, because when they grow, we grow. The community grows. Everybody grows. Like I said before, everything changed when it became we. When it wasn't me no more, when it was we. So, that's the basis for all the bad part of my story. And now it gets into what's great. It gets into the good things. Because now that I am a survivor and I made it through the muck, I feel it's my opportunity and obligation to help bring other people out of that. Because that's what survivors do. There's so many people stuck out there. And every day, every way we can, we got to try to bring one back out. Because what was given to me, I got to get back. If there wasn't people that came before me that was walking this walk and talking the talk, I wouldn't be here today. And I'm grateful for every one of them. I'm grateful for every one of you guys that's got, the sobriety, that taught somebody else, and instilled them values in somebody, because they may instill them values in somebody that's still stuck out there right now. I wrote something the other day. I got a page where I write a writing every day, daily writing on something. And I wrote about people in recovery kind of being, it's like we were, I refer to diamonds, the process of diamonds. Like they were made and forged from the decay of this and that from over the years, and from the flames of their rock bottom, until they were plucked out and polished by somebody else to see the true beauty that lies in them. And that's somebody in recovery. We was found by somebody else. We was shown that there's beauty and greatness inside of us through the power of we and somebody else, something greater than ourselves, other things than me. So our obligation is to give that back. Let's pull some more diamonds from the rough out. Let's polish them and show them their greatness, because there's many out there. There's many me's and you's out there that's still stuck in that, still stuck in the muck, still feeling the pain. And we can all work together and keep working together to get them out. And there's no reason they got to suffer. There's no reason anybody's got to suffer, because like I said, we're all survivors. Those in active addiction today are still survivors. They're living today. They may not know it. They may be broken, too battered. They may not feel like a survivor, but there's a survivor in them. We just got to pull that out of them. And that's our job for those walking in long-term recovery. Be the model, walk the walk, talk the talk, and get out there and help somebody every chance we can. Anything we can do. And there's a lot of negativity with people in recovery, and I just hope everybody refrains from that. There's no need for people to worry about what others are doing, and worry about this and worry about that, because that reflects us from our primary purpose, the addict still suffering. I'm not worrying about what this treatment center does or what that one does. I'm worrying about what the addict out there suffering is doing. I'm worrying about how I can get them out of that and what we can do to help them. That's what the focus should be pointed on. It shouldn't be pointed on some of the things that it is. That's what survivors do. They help them. They don't worry about all that other stuff. We made it through. Let's keep worrying about what we got to worry about. The addict still suffering. We are all survivors. Like I said, there's one in each and every one of us. All we got to do is bring it out of each other. I love the opportunity that I got today. Higgy, you rock, man. Keep your head up. I love you, brother. Everybody out there, I love you. Keep being a survivor. Keep doing what's right. Next right thing. You mess up, that's cool. We're all redeemable. But keep working on yourself day in and day out. Like I said, I'm not perfect in any means at all. I make mistakes. I've still hurt people in recovery because my mind. Sometimes I get complacent. We all have. Things happen. We veer our path. But remember, we're a survivor. Survivors don't give up. We pick ourselves back up. And whatever we've done in the past, whatever, it can all be redeemable. It ain't worth picking back up. It ain't worth going back out. Because like I said, our main purpose for that one still suffering, we got to be there for them today. We got to show them there's hope and there's another way. Like I said, we are all survivors. I love you all. Thanks for having me, man. Guys, have a good night. Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. Check out my new page, Through the Eyes of an Addict. I write every day. Check it out. Share it to anybody and everybody I ain't worried about no copyright, none of that stuff. I write something every day. Share it. Get it to somebody that needs it. It's my perspective through my writing. Also, check out One Voice. Great organization in southeastern Indiana. And I hope to see you guys soon. I love y'all. Thanks.